2019 Silver Ramadan, 1440. Sunset of May 2019 started Ramadan. I have given it the name Silver Ramadan. Let us reflect on this month and the centrality of its additional rituals. But let's remember the differences between obliged, encouraged, and voluntary. Ramadan can be rendered into parching, burning, and scorching. It may seem weird in some contexts to say blessings, nobility, honor, or whatever with it, but its month of observance forms a sort of alchemy of the soul. It focuses on what could be called a black alchemy of realizing your spiritual potential and responsibility by shutting out the internally and external imposition of falsehood and reprogramming by the practices and experiences of this month. What I offer by the following and previous accounts of events is not so much as translating Al-Quran, but as an interpretation of the meanings, mixed with elements of my own experiences of the horizons and readings of the clear Quran translation of Talal Itani at hand. From the first of the 9th month of 1440, Suwar 95 through 114. Hail to the places that uphold the original form of thought, word, and deed. Focus on learning and each spiritual need. The night of power is the best of when the angelic presence breathes. After the sapiential and the spiritual purity, there forms a diversity of creeds. The material nature is evidential of karma. The unity of strivers unveils their inner dharma. Following an extremity of sounds, we may find part of the afterlife, as if our nursing mother. What do you want and work for? Where is your pleasure? It is not just your responses of beliefs and practices, but encouraging each other. We should be careful of what we carry and not let our hearts imprison us like a harsh father. When society leaves something, God may still be its protector. Let our hearts be moved for how we are freed from hunger and fear. The denial of religion is in neglecting ritual and the need in others that's clear. To abstain from needed difficulty and to mock is for the true losers. For each system of judgment, tolerate as you want for you. As the movement grows, do not treat it as if there is less you should do. Cursed be the needlessly angry and the preventer. Monotheism, pantheism, and atheism finds its purity. Evil is an uncreated choice. To beware of in a created entity. Towards the best in all roles is the refuge from beings who may be sneaky and evil. From the 2nd of the 9th month of 1440, Al-Quran Surah 2, Ayat 79 through 118. Many invent sacred teachings and leave themselves in the lurch. I was solely reminded of those things I heard in church. Before me was a red grid on which I could perch. We are ever reminded of what not to do and what to do. I was in a pick within a purple hand, like a vault. I was in pick with a purple hand like vault, till I felt all anew. There is no conflict with religion itself, so let there be no abrogation in you. Do not leave the prophets and lightnings as blued. Do not prevent from the signs, but realize the ones we have before we are through. From the 3rd of the 9th month of 1440, Al-Quran, Suwar 75 through 94. Decaying body parts and bone fragments lead towards resurrection. Humanity's origins and results go beyond inspection and description. The splendorous way out of the tree of wrath is upholding the final declaration. What is the news most worthy of introspection? Yamadutas and Vishnudutas come to us before the revealing of the original condition. Beware of your reactions and where you spend your attention. All creation is in motion, and God is not for demonic possession. You are witnessing and witnessed, so what is the prevention? For the accounting of their consciousness and deeds will be prison or empyrean. The end of this universe and our end will come before we know the end of our books. Then, in the recitation, is its second to last prostration. Converse of severity and of love and redemption. The powers of nature confirm the power of who plans in the best way and makes the final decisions. What is the source of creation, maintenance, and destruction? Know that the world's scriptures are a mutual confirmation. Shock and relief is decided. Shock and relief is a decided and deserved. Shock and relief are decided and deserved dispensations. The last 10 nights of Ramadan are a ration beyond the gospel of prosperity, for who may become a soul at peace because of what they do with their condition. A place where duty to creation and God is done can become Zion, but each individual can choose their way to perdition. By the positive and negative is our ascent, our dissension. By darkness and light is our choices to reject or go towards exception. Throughout all ease and hardship, we are to utter the best proclamation. By worship, difficulty, and ease, it's the supreme illumination. From the 4th of the 9th month of 1440, Al-Quran, Suwar 55 through 74. With a sign of 31 placed with 47 others. With the signs of 31 placed with 47 others, for the 2 types of creation with free will, we will learn and express. They are dressed together again about being of the right hand of bliss and the left hand of bitterness. The cosmic personality and what it can do for us leads towards forgiveness. Atone for the divorce by insult and see what you have missed. Do not rely on fortifications alone, but go forth and move with God's names in each course, instead of mere alliances and marriages. Regard some terms as to the value of their forces. Together we stand in the sciences of supporting religion that goes beyond praises. Revelation, inspiration, and examples for those yet to come is the subject of Friday's discourses. Some merely say verses without the inner acceptance, and instead focus on what each possesses. Are you ready for the gathering, in which we will know the results for what each denounces? Each society needs to carefully regard its divorces. Do not make taboos for your families, because there are no excuses. Loss before gang dominates in these universes. Insanity is not the spiritual way, and religion will stave off their curses. Reality comes, and the soothsayers will be removed with what each falsely establishes. Life is not just play for those who ascend with the angels, when the sky naturally becomes like molten brasses. Leave behind their classes and the 5 types of false gods, because that is where perdition increases. The invisible beings are not all evil, and of the unseen is revealed by whom encompasses. Wrap me up at night for more than is required, so that I may bear thine messages. Enrobed beyond the 19 angels, fill me with remembrances. From the 5th of the 9th month of 1440, Al-Quran 35:54. Sorry for the shaking. I had some work to do, so I hurt. Angels and the rest of creation goes beyond your conceptual forms. To not be forlorn, let yourselves move with the messengers of the universal soul. Align yourselves and drive out each devil without being of Baal. To not acknowledge your doubts brings a fall, but if you stick to the renowned words, your ways will not stay evil. The stratification of judged people and other verses brings highs that are psychological and sensual. Sent ahead was Yusuf as a revealer. Temptation can mislead our skins, but enact the good of what is revealed to keep from evil. We take on many signs, but heaven almost bursts forth in pre-acceptance by the angels. It is far less of a sign to have decorations than the commonly beneficial. Leave the way of the mundane behind, and consider the way of the most merciful. Revelation is no joke. So, what will your book be when kneeling is for all? Prophets are not sinful innovations. To who succeeds in the time of shifting hills? To accept Muhammad as messenger of God is to bring forth good and truth, while evil and ignorance is repelled. Muhammad is the apostle of God for those who most seek divine approval. Do not put mere opinions first, and be careful of each assumption and title. Receivers remain there, and God is even nearer than the jugular. Who will pass the ordeals while realizing their purpose in life? We are not just forced into hell, but dismiss the decision until it arrives like a knife. Who has no daughters, and who provides Sirius, the great star? The time is never too far for those ready to witness a miracle. From the 6th of the 9th month of 1440, Al-Quran, Surah Suwar 15 through 34. From a clarifying recitation to the mythical past, worship till the end of this life's reality. Throughout the differences of consumption, the lessons of the cow and of the bee, what will you be to society? The past is a similitude of prediction, but prophecy is focused on daily life, and peak visions are for humanity. Accept a way without distortion, but allow the freedom of thought throughout the strife, while all the while maintaining integrity. It has been best that Jesus and Mary were not forgotten. Other systems become rife, but blessed are those who are sent to generations to restore purity. There are inner, outer, and ethnic sides to a condition. But what do you ultimately want for your family? Evil magic, jumbling, inventions, mere art, and trickery is not of those who teach humanity how to abandon abomination and achieve ultimate glory. Pilgrimage is devotional, experiential, and psychological presages of the day of resurrection. So let not your submission be abrogated with such as perjury. Believers do not have empty words and thoughts, but uphold a degree of actions sanctioned by the best of mercy. Sacred Scripture is full of obligations, but its illumination is beyond what can be grasped by any ethnicity. The macrocosms and the microcosms have a distinction beyond mere tradition to bring us without aversion to the one with ultimate sovereignty. Clarifications made known to the pairs. There is better than mere art, but that can be in orthodoxy and orthopraxy. Revelation and inspiration is not for the sake of acquiring money. It is around commandments for the world and its beauty. Favor is for the opponents of oppression. There is a time to flee and a time for establishing safe sanctuary. Instead of truth, some prefer nearer seeming fabrications in all their strength that forms fragility. Unlikely predictions and descriptions have been made the reality. O soulmates of compassion, maintain all naturality. Heed the lesson of Luqman and his son instead of just bearing its presence like a donkey. From reproductions to communications, know that the horizons can be upheld without leaving you too weary. Each confederation now has the best of examples for the mutually righteous in the presidential way of God in eternity. Some strive against the divine lessons, but they will have their end, and otherwise will have their compensation of true victory.